I noticed the changes about 3 weeks ago. Small things at first. She started keeping her phone face down on the counter. Started taking calls in the other room. Started getting dressed up for what she called girls' nights out more often than usual. Thursday evening, I was loading the dishwasher after dinner when I asked her a simple question. So, what are your plans for tomorrow night? She looked up from her phone with this expression I'd never seen before. Defensive. Almost annoyed. Why do you need to know? I don't need to know. I'm just asking. We usually talk about our plans. Well, maybe I don't want to be questioned every single time I leave the house. I stopped what I was doing and turned to face her. Questioned? I asked you one thing. You're always interrogating me about where I'm going, who I'm with, what time I'll be back. It's exhausting. I dried my hands slowly, taking a moment to process what she'd just said. In 8 years of marriage, I'd never once interrogated her. I'd asked. Normal spouse stuff. The kind of questions you ask when you care about someone's day. Stop interrogating me about my plans, she said, her voice getting louder. I'm allowed to have a life outside this house without giving you a full report. The kitchen went quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. I looked at her, truly looked at her, and saw someone I didn't recognize. Someone who was picking a fight over nothing. Or maybe over something she didn't want me to know about. You're absolutely right, I said calmly. She blinked, surprised by my response. She'd been ready for an argument, ready to escalate. My agreement threw her off. I am. Yes, you're completely right. I apologize for interrogating you. I won't ask again. She studied my face, trying to figure out if I was being sarcastic. I wasn't. I was being strategic. Okay then, she said, picking up her phone again. Good. I finished loading the dishwasher in silence. Then I went upstairs to our bedroom, pulled out my phone, and did something I'd never done before. I went into settings and disabled location sharing. All of it. Find my friends, Google Maps, everything. Then I opened a new browser tab and searched for flights to Miami. If she wanted privacy, I'd give her plenty of it. And I'd take some for myself too. The next morning, she was in a better mood. Probably relieved that I'd backed down so easily. She even kissed me goodbye before heading to work, something she hadn't done in weeks. Have a good day, she said. You too. Enjoy your plans tonight. She smiled, thinking she'd won. Thinking I was just another husband who'd learned his place. She had no idea what was coming. I spent Friday at work handling the basics, but my mind was elsewhere. I'd already booked the flight. Thursday night departure, return Monday afternoon. A hotel right on South Beach. 3 full days of not giving a single explanation to anyone. When I got home Friday evening, she was already getting ready. Hair done, makeup perfect, wearing a dress I'd never seen before. Heading out soon? I asked from the doorway. Yeah, meeting the girls at 7. Have fun. She paused, mascara wand in midair. That's it. No questions. You asked me to stop interrogating you. So I stopped. She looked almost disappointed. Like she'd wanted the fight after all. But I wasn't giving her one. Okay, I'll probably be back late. Don't wait up. No problem. I watched her leave, heard her car pull out of the driveway. Then I went upstairs, grabbed the overnight bag I'd packed that morning, and called an Uber to the airport. My flight left at 10:15. By the time she was wherever she actually was, I'd be halfway to Florida. She wanted freedom. She was about to find out what that actually meant. I landed in Miami just after midnight. The warm air hit me as I walked out of the airport, and I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Relief. No explanations. No justifications. No walking on eggshells waiting for the next accusation. I checked into the hotel around 1 in the morning. The room had a balcony overlooking the ocean. I stood there for a while, listening to the waves, and realized I'd been holding tension in my shoulders for weeks. Saturday morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and 32 text messages. All from her. The first few were casual. Hey, where are you? Did you go somewhere? Then they got more urgent. Why aren't you answering? I'm getting worried. By message 20, the panic was obvious. Please just tell me you're okay. This isn't funny. I'm about to call the police. I ordered room service, ate breakfast on the balcony, and left everything on read. Around noon, I finally sent one message back. I'm fine. Enjoying my weekend. 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. This went on for 2 full minutes before her response came through. Where are you? I put the phone down and went to the beach. The rest of Saturday was perfect. I had lunch at a Cuban place in Little Havana. Walked around Wynwood looking at the street art. Had dinner at a steakhouse where the waiter didn't ask me a single personal question, just brought me good food and left me alone. My phone kept buzzing. I checked it once around 8 p.m. 43 more messages. Now she was cycling through emotions. Anger, fear, guilt tripping, bargaining. How could you just disappear like this? Do you have any idea how worried I've been? I thought something happened to you. This is cruel. We need to talk about this. Please come home. I turned off notifications and went to sleep. Sunday morning, she tried a different approach. The messages became softer, more manipulative. I'm sorry if I made you feel bad. I didn't mean to hurt you. Can we please just talk? I miss you. I was sitting at a cafe having coffee when I decided to respond. I'll be home Monday evening. We can talk then. Her reply was instant. Monday? You're not coming back until Monday. Correct. Where even are you? Miami. The three dots appeared and disappeared about 20 times. Then nothing. Radio silence for the next 6 hours. I spent Sunday doing exactly what I wanted. Rented a jet ski. Had too much key lime pie. Watched the sunset from a rooftop bar. Posted absolutely nothing on social media. Told absolutely no one where I was. Just like she'd wanted. Privacy. Monday afternoon, I caught my flight home. Landed around 6 p.m. The Uber dropped me off at the house around 7:30. Her car was in the driveway. Every light in the house was on. I grabbed my bag, walked up to the front door, and used my key like it was any other day. She was standing in the living room waiting. Her face was a mess. Red eyes, no makeup, hair pulled back. She looked like she hadn't slept all weekend. Good. Where the hell have you been? She said before I'd even closed the door. I set my bag down. Miami. I told you that. You told me Sunday. After I'd been trying to reach you for 2 days. You wanted me to stop interrogating you about your plans. I figured you'd appreciate the same courtesy. Her mouth opened, then closed. She was trying to find an angle, a way to make this my fault. That's not the same thing at all, isn't it? You go out Friday night. Don't tell me where you're actually going. Come home late. I go out Thursday night, take a trip, come home Monday. What's the difference? The difference is I didn't disappear without telling you. You told me not to ask about your plans. So I stopped sharing mine too. Seems fair. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. This wasn't the husband she knew. The one who'd apologize, who'd back down, who'd let her rewrite the rules whenever she felt like it. I tried to check your location, she said. You turned it off. I value my privacy. I watched her face change as she heard her own words thrown back at her. The realization that she'd created this situation was starting to sink in. This is ridiculous. You can't just take off for a weekend without telling me. Why not? You made it very clear that asking about plans is interrogation. So I stopped asking. And I stopped answering. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? She didn't have an answer for that. We both knew what she'd meant. She wanted freedom to do whatever she was doing without questions. She just didn't expect me to claim the same freedom. I picked up my bag. I'm tired. Long flight. We can talk more tomorrow if you want. We're talking now. No, we're not. I'm going to bed. I walked past her toward the stairs. She grabbed my arm. You don't get to just walk away from this conversation. I looked down at her hand on my arm, then back at her face. Let go. Something in my voice made her release her grip immediately. I went upstairs, unpacked, and took a shower. When I came out, she was sitting on the bed, crying. I was worried about you, she said quietly. Were you? Or were you worried about not knowing where I was? She didn't answer. I got into bed and turned off the lamp on my side. Good night. She sat there in the dark for a long time before finally lying down on her side, as far from me as possible. I fell asleep easily. Best sleep I'd had in weeks. Tuesday morning, I woke up at 6 like always. She was still asleep, or pretending to be. I got ready for work in silence, made coffee, and left without saying goodbye. At the office, my phone started buzzing around 9. Text after text. We need to talk about what happened. You can't just ignore me forever. I deserve an explanation. I responded during my lunch break. You deserve an explanation? That's interesting. 3 dots. Then nothing. Then, what's that supposed to mean? Exactly what it sounds like. I put my phone away and got back to work. I had a project deadline coming up and honestly, dealing with her drama was the last thing on my mind. When I got home that evening, she was waiting in the kitchen. She'd clearly spent time preparing for this. Hair done, makeup on, wearing one of my favorite outfits. The whole performance. Hey, she said, forcing a smile. I made dinner. I looked at the table. She'd actually cooked. something she hadn't done in months. Thanks. I already ate. The smile faltered. Oh, I thought we could talk over dinner. I'm not hungry, but you go ahead. I walked past her to the living room and turned on the TV. She followed me, standing in the doorway. Can you please turn that off? We need to discuss this. Discuss what? Everything. The Miami trip. You ignoring me. This whole attitude you've had since last week. I muted the TV and looked at her. What attitude? This cold, distant thing you're doing. It's not like you. Maybe you don't know me as well as you think. She sat down on the other end of the couch. Look, I know I said some things last Thursday. Maybe I overreacted about the questions. But that doesn't give you the right to just disappear for a weekend. I didn't disappear. I went to Miami. I told you where I was. 2 days later. Better late than never. She was getting frustrated now. The sweet approach wasn't working, so I could see her shifting strategies. This isn't healthy. This is passive-aggressive. Is it? I thought I was just respecting your boundaries. You wanted privacy, you got it. I wanted privacy, I took it. Sounds pretty direct to me. That's not what I meant by privacy. Then explain it to me. What did you mean? She opened her mouth, then closed it. We both knew she couldn't explain it without admitting what she was actually doing. I meant that I should be able to go out with my friends without you grilling me about every detail. I never grilled you. I asked normal questions that normal married people ask each other. It felt like grilling. And me going to Miami felt like abandonment to you. Guess we both learned something about feelings versus intentions. She stood up abruptly. Why are you being like this? Like what? Like you don't even care anymore. I turned the TV back on. I care about the same things I've always cared about. Honesty, respect, trust, the basics. And you don't think I've been honest? Have you? The question hung there. She could have answered it. Could have come clean about whatever she'd been doing those Friday nights. Could have been the person who valued honesty. Instead, she chose anger. I can't believe you're accusing me of something when you're the one who took off without a word. I told you exactly where I was. That's more than you've told me about your Friday nights. I told you. I was with friends. Which friends? Why does it matter? It doesn't. You're right. It doesn't matter at all. That answer scared her more than if I'd kept pushing. She wanted me to fight, to interrogate, to give her something to use against me. My indifference was breaking her script. I'm going to bed, she said finally. When you're ready to have an actual conversation instead of playing games, let me know. Good night. She stomped upstairs. I heard the bedroom door close harder than necessary. I stayed on the couch for another hour, not actually watching TV, just thinking. The woman I married wouldn't have blown up over a simple question about her plans. She wouldn't have gaslit me about asking normal spouse questions. She wouldn't have made my concerns sound like controlling behavior. Something had changed. Or maybe it had always been there, and I'd just been too trusting to see it. Wednesday, I left for work before she woke up. Came home late. Thursday, same thing. She tried to initiate conversations, but I kept them surface level. Weather, bills, whether we needed groceries. By Friday, she was unraveling. Are you having an affair? She asked that evening, out of nowhere. I looked up from my laptop. What? You heard me. Is there someone else? You're asking me if I'm having an affair. Yes. That's what you think is happening here. What else am I supposed to think? You're distant. You're cold. You took a secret trip to Miami. It wasn't secret. I told you where I was. After you were already there. I closed my laptop. Let me ask you something. If you thought I was having an affair, why would your first concern be that I went to Miami? Wouldn't you be more worried about who I was with? She blinked, caught in the logic trap. I don't understand what's happening. What's happening is that I'm giving you exactly what you asked for. Space. Privacy. No questions. But I didn't ask for this. Yes, you did. You just didn't think about what it would look like from the other side. My phone buzzed. A text from Hudson, my coworker, and one of my few close friends. Drinks tomorrow? You seem stressed lately. I texted back. Yeah, sounds good. She was watching me. Who's that? Hudson. We're getting drinks tomorrow. Oh, okay. She was waiting for me to give her more details. Where, what time, when I'd be home. The same thing she'd accused me of interrogating her about. I didn't offer anything else. Her face went through several emotions before settling on resignation. Have fun. Thanks. Saturday evening, I met Hudson at a bar downtown. We'd worked together for 5 years, and he'd met my wife plenty of times at company events. So what's going on? He asked after we'd ordered. You've been off all week. I told him everything. The fight about questions. Miami. The Cold War happening at home. He whistled low. That's rough, man. The weird part is, I don't even feel that upset about it anymore. Just tired. Tired is worse than angry. Angry means you still care enough to fight. Yeah. He took a drink. Can I be honest with you? Always. I saw her a couple weeks ago. Friday night. At that Italian place near the highway, Caruso's. I set my beer down. Okay. She wasn't with friends. She was with some guy. They were sitting in a corner booth, pretty cozy. There it was. Confirmation of what I'd already suspected but hadn't wanted to believe. Did she see you? No. I was picking up takeout. Left before they noticed me. I almost texted you that night, but I didn't know if I should. It's fine. I appreciate you telling me now. What are you going to do? I stared at my drink for a long moment. I'm going to talk to someone. A lawyer, I mean. Just to understand my options. Fair enough. If you need anything, let me know. We finished our drinks, talked about work stuff, normal friend things. When I got home around 11, she was still up, watching TV. How was it? She asked, trying to sound casual. Good. Hudson says hi. That's nice. I went upstairs without another word. Lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Thinking about Caruso's. About corner booths. About Friday nights and defensive reactions and everything that made sense now. I wasn't angry. Hudson was right about that. I was just done. Sunday morning, I searched for divorce attorneys in the area. Started making a list of who to call Monday. The marriage was over. I just needed to make it official. Monday morning, I called out sick from work. First time in 3 years. I had appointments to keep, and none of them involved the office. I met with 3 different attorneys. The first one was too expensive. The second seemed like he just wanted to drag things out for billable hours. The third one, a guy named Mr. Sterling, was straightforward and honest. How long have you been married? He asked. 8 years. Kids? No. Property? We rent. Lease is in her name. I moved in after we got married. He nodded, taking notes. That makes things simpler. Any joint accounts? 1 checking account. I opened a separate one last week and moved half the money. Good. That's fair. Any other assets? 2 cars, both paid off. Mine is in my name. Hers is in hers. Some furniture, regular household stuff. Nothing major. This should be relatively straightforward then. No fault divorce. We file, she gets served, there's a waiting period, then it's done. How long? In this state, minimum 60 days from filing. Could be longer if she contests it. She will. He leaned back in his chair. They usually do. But from what you've told me, there's no grounds for her to prevent it. You want out, that's enough. I hired him on the spot. We spent the next hour going over details, filling out paperwork, discussing strategy. When I left his office, I felt lighter than I had in weeks. I spent the rest of Monday getting things in order. Called the insurance company to separate our policies. Updated my direct deposit to the new bank account. Changed my emergency contact at work from her to Hudson. Small things. Important things. When I got home that evening, she was in the kitchen making dinner again. Another performance. Hey, you're late. Everything okay? Fine. Had some errands to run. Oh, well, dinner's almost ready. I'm not hungry. Her face fell. You haven't eaten with me in almost a week. I've been busy. Busy avoiding me, you mean? I didn't respond. Just headed for the stairs. I know you saw someone, she said to my back. I stopped. Excuse me. Saturday night. Hudson told you something. I can tell. I turned around slowly. What do you think he told me? She was gripping the kitchen counter. I don't know, but you've been different since then. Different how? Colder. More distant. Like you've already checked out. Maybe I have. The words just came out. Honest. Direct. No games. Her eyes widened. What does that mean? It means exactly what it sounds like. Are you saying you want to leave? I'm saying I already have. Mentally, anyway. The rest is just paperwork. She moved toward me. No, we can fix this. Whatever Hudson said, whatever you think happened. Caruso's. 2 weeks ago. Friday night. Corner booth. All the color drained from her face. He was just a friend. Don't. It's true. We were just talking. In a corner booth. At a romantic Italian restaurant. On a Friday night. After you accused me of interrogating you for asking about your plans. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Explain it to me. She was crying now. Actual tears, not the manipulative kind. He's someone I used to work with. We ran into each other at Target a few weeks ago. We got coffee to catch up. That's all. And the dinner? He was having a hard time. His divorce just finalized. He needed someone to talk to. So you took him to a romantic restaurant and sat in a corner booth and didn't tell your husband about any of it. I knew you'd overreact. Overreact? You mean react. Period. Because what you did was cross a line, and you knew it, which is why you hid it. Nothing happened. We just talked. About what? His failed marriage? How hard divorce is? How nice it is to have someone who understands. Her silence was the answer. Let me guess, I continued. He complained about his ex-wife. You commiserated. Maybe complained about me a little. About how I asked too many questions. How I don't give you space. And he agreed with everything because that's what people who want something do. They validate whatever you're saying. You're twisting this. Am I? Because from where I'm standing, it looks pretty simple. You wanted to spend time with another man without me knowing about it. So you picked a fight about questions. Accused me of controlling behavior. Made me the bad guy so you could justify whatever this is. It's not an affair. Maybe not yet. But that's where it was heading, and we both know it. She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was stupid. I wasn't thinking clearly. You were thinking very clearly. Clear enough to choose a restaurant on the other side of town. Clear enough to hide it from me. Clear enough to blow up at me for asking a simple question. Please, we can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll cut all contact with him. Whatever you want. I sat down across from her. Not because I was considering it, but because I needed her to see my face when I said what came next. I don't want to fix this. What? I'm done. Not because of him specifically. Because of what you turned into. The woman I married wouldn't have snuck around. Wouldn't have gaslit me about normal questions. Wouldn't have made me feel crazy for caring about her life. I can change. You probably can. But I don't want to wait around to see if you do. You're not even going to try? Try what? Try to trust you again after you lied? Try to feel secure after you accused me of interrogation for basic communication? Try to be happy with someone who needed attention from another man to feel valued. She had no answer for any of that. I saw an attorney today, I said quietly. Papers will be filed by the end of the week. No. Please, no. I love you. You love the idea of me. The stability. The security. But you don't love me enough to be honest. And I can't build a life on that. I stood up. I'll sleep in the guest room until I find a place. The house is in your name, so you can stay. I'll be out within the month. This is because of Miami, isn't it? You're punishing me. Miami was me taking a breath. This is me making a decision. There's a difference. I went upstairs, grabbed my pillow and some clothes, and moved into the guest room. She didn't follow, didn't bang on the door, just cried in the kitchen while I set up my temporary space. Around midnight, she slipped a note under the door. I found it in the morning. I know I messed up, but throwing away 8 years over dinner with a friend seems extreme. Please reconsider. I'll do anything. I folded the note and put it in my pocket. Not because I wanted to keep it, but because my attorney might need it as evidence that I'd informed her of my intentions. Tuesday morning, I went to work like normal, focused on my projects. Had lunch with Hudson and told him everything. How do you feel? He asked. Relieved, honestly. Like I can finally breathe. Good. You deserve better than that. Thanks for telling me about Caruso's. I needed to know. That's what friends are for. When I got home that evening, she tried one more time. I ended it. Blocked his number. Deleted him from everything. See, she showed me her phone. Okay. That's it. What do you want me to say? Good job on doing what you should have done weeks ago. I want you to say we can work through this. We can't. I already told you that. Why not? Because trust isn't something you can rebuild in a day, or a week, or even a month. And I don't have the energy to try. She stared at me with desperate eyes. So that's it. One mistake and you're gone. It wasn't one mistake. It was a series of choices. And the last one I'm choosing to make is leaving. I walked past her to the guest room and closed the door. The papers would be ready Friday. And then this chapter of my life would finally be over. Friday came faster than expected. Mr. Sterling called around noon. Papers are ready. You can pick them up this afternoon, or I can have them served directly. I'll pick them up. I want to hand them to her myself. You sure? Most people prefer. I'm sure. I left work early and drove to his office. The envelope felt heavier than it should have. When I got home, she was sitting on the couch, looking like she'd been waiting all day. We need to talk, she said as soon as I walked in. We do. I set the envelope on the coffee table between us. She stared at it. What is that? Divorce papers. I need you to sign them. Her face crumbled. You actually did it. I told you I would. I thought. I thought if I gave you space, if I showed you I was serious about changing. It's not about space. It's about respect. And you stopped respecting me the moment you chose to hide things instead of talking to me. She picked up the envelope with shaking hands, then set it back down without opening it. I can't sign these. You will eventually. This just starts the process. What if I refuse? Then it takes longer. But the outcome is the same. She looked at me with something close to hatred. You went to Miami to punish me. I went to Miami because I needed to think. And while I was there, I realized something. I was happier in 3 days alone than I'd been in 3 months with you. That hit her hard. Truth usually does. I gave you 8 years of my life. And I gave you 8 years of mine. We're even. This is so cold. So calculated. This isn't you. No, this is exactly me. You just never bothered to learn who that was. I stood up. I found a place. Month-to-month rental. I'm moving my stuff out this weekend. You can keep whatever furniture you want. I don't need much. Where? Does it matter? She didn't answer. I went to the guest room and started packing. Clothes, laptop, important documents. Everything else could wait. She appeared in the doorway. My parents are going to ask questions. Tell them the truth. Or don't. I don't really care anymore. They'll blame me. Probably. But that's between you and them. She watched me pack in silence for a few minutes. Then, quietly, I really did love you. Past tense. Interesting choice. That's not what I meant. It's what you said. I zipped up my bag. I'll be back tomorrow for the rest. Please don't be here when I come. It'll be easier for both of us. This is really happening. Yes. I never thought you'd actually leave. I know. That was the problem. I carried my bag downstairs and out to my car. Didn't look back. Didn't need to. The apartment I'd found wasn't much. Small 1-bedroom on the 2nd floor. But it was mine. No shared history. No reminders. I spent Friday night setting up. Bed, TV basics. Ordered pizza. Sat on my new couch and felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Saturday, I went back to the house. She'd left like I asked. I packed up the rest of my things, loaded them into a borrowed truck from Hudson. On the kitchen counter, she'd left the divorce papers. And signed. I wasn't surprised. Mr. Sterling had warned me she'd resist. But it didn't matter. The process had started. Sunday, I slept until 10. Made breakfast in my own kitchen. Went for a run. Did absolutely nothing productive. It was perfect. Monday morning, back to work. Normal life. No drama. No wondering where she was or what she was doing. Hudson met me for coffee. How's the new place? Quiet. Good quiet or lonely quiet? Good quiet. I forgot what that felt like. 3 weeks later, she finally signed the papers. Mr. Sterling called with the news. She's asking for half the value of your car. No. That's what I figured. I'll handle it. She didn't get the car. Didn't get anything except what was always hers. The settlement was clean, fair, and fast. 67 days after I filed, it was official. I was free. 6 months later, I ran into her at Target. She looked different. Tired. She started to say something, but I just nodded and kept walking. There was nothing left to say. That weekend, I flew back to Miami. Same hotel. Same beach. But this time, I wasn't running from anything. I was just living my life. And it felt incredible. 1 year later, I barely recognized my old life. The apartment had turned into a house. Small, 2-bedroom rental in a better neighborhood. I'd gotten a promotion at work. Started lifting weights again. Reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with during the marriage. Hudson and I grabbed lunch one afternoon. You look good, man. Seriously. Night and day from last year. I feel good. Better than I have in a long time. Any regrets? About leaving? Not even once. Heard through the grapevine she's engaged again. I took a bite of my sandwich. Good for her. That's it. No reaction. What do you want me to say? I hope she's happy. I hope she learned something. But honestly, I don't think about her much anymore. And that was the truth. She'd become a chapter in my past, not a constant presence in my present. You seeing anyone? Hudson asked. Casually. Nothing serious. I'm not in a rush. Smart. That weekend, I flew to Miami again. 3rd time since the divorce. It had become my reset button. The place where I'd first remembered who I was outside of that marriage. I sat on the same beach, watching the sunset. Thought about everything that had led me here. The fight about questions. The trip I'd taken out of spite that became something more. The Cold War. The discovery. The divorce. All of it had seemed devastating at the time. But looking back, it was the best thing that could have happened. She'd wanted freedom without responsibility, privacy without partnership, space without communication. I'd given her all of that, just not in the way she expected. The irony wasn't lost on me. By demanding I stop asking questions, she'd push me to stop caring about the answers. And once I stopped caring, leaving became easy. My phone buzzed. A text from Natalie, someone I'd met at a work conference last month. "How's Miami?" "Perfect. Wish you were here." "Next time." "Deal." I smiled. Natalie was different. Direct. Honest. We'd talk for hours about everything and nothing. No games. No hidden meanings. Just genuine conversation. Maybe something would come of it. Maybe not. Either way, I was good. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky orange and purple. I finished my drink and stood up, brushing sand off my shorts. My ex-wife had taught me an important lesson. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And when they demand space, give them exactly that. Just be prepared to take some for yourself too. I walked back toward the hotel, already planning tomorrow. Jet ski rental in the morning. That Cuban place for lunch. Maybe call Natalie later, see if she wanted to video chat. Life was simple now, uncomplicated, and I learned something valuable from that whole mess. Freedom isn't something you demand from someone else. It's something you claim for yourself. I claimed mine in Miami a year ago, and I never looked back.